My sister-in-law handed me a recipe card on the first Sunday of every month for 15 years. Always handwritten in her precise cursive. Always for something I'd never make. Beef Wellington. Coq au vin, baked Alaska. When I'd laugh and say, "Carol, you know I can barely boil water," she'd pat my hand and say the same thing every time. "Keep them anyway, dear. You never know when you'll need a good recipe." I kept them all in a shoebox in the back of my pantry. I never looked at them twice. Carol was 67 when the cancer took her. Pancreatic. 4 months from diagnosis to death. My husband James, her younger brother, took it hard. They'd grown up in foster care together, just the two of them against the world. She was the only family he had left, or so I thought. The funeral was on a gray October morning. I stood between James and our daughter Rachel, watching them lower Carol into the ground next to her husband Dan, who died 3 years earlier. James squeezed my hand so hard it hurt. I squeezed back. That's what you do after 32 years of marriage. You hold on. That evening, Rachel helped me sort through the casseroles people had brought. She was 28, working as a paralegal in Seattle, and she'd taken the week off to be with us. As we covered dishes with foil, she said something that would later feel prophetic. "Aunt Carol always loved you more than Dad, you know." I paused, a Pyrex dish in my hands. "Don't be silly. I'm serious, Mom." The way she'd look at you sometimes, like she was worried about you, like she was trying to tell you something. I dismissed it then. Grief makes people say strange things. But that night, alone in bed while James snored beside me, I thought about Carol's visits, how she always came when James was at the office, how she'd ask me questions about our finances, our retirement plans, our life together, how I'd brushed it off as her being nosy or lonely after Dan died. The recipe box sat on my kitchen counter for 3 days before I opened it. I don't know why I pulled it out that Thursday afternoon. Maybe because I was cleaning out the pantry and found it. Maybe because I missed Carol. Maybe because some part of me finally wanted to know why she'd given me 180 recipe cards for dishes I'd never cook. I sat at the kitchen table and opened the first card. Beef Wellington, it said at the top in Carol's handwriting. But when I flipped it over, there was more writing. Small, cramped, different from the front. March 2008. James withdrew $15,000 from the business account. Told Martin it was for new equipment. No equipment purchased. Check your joint savings. My hands started shaking. I grabbed the second card. Coq au vin. On the back, April 2008. Another $12,000 withdrawn. James bought a new Rolex. You don't know about it. He keeps it in his car's glove compartment. The third card. Baked Alaska. Backside. May 2008. $20,000. James told Martin he's investing in a guaranteed opportunity. Martin asked me to check on you. I said you seemed fine. You don't know, do you? I went through all 180 cards. Every single one had a recipe on the front and a record on the back. 15 years of my husband systematically stealing from the hardware store he co-owned with his business partner Martin. 15 years of Carol documenting it. 15 years of her trying to tell me without telling me. The numbers made me dizzy. I spread the cards across the table and did the math on my phone's calculator. $847,000. Nearly $1 million gone. Money that should have been split between James and Martin. Money that should have secured our retirement. Money that was just gone. I sat there until dark, reading and rereading the cards. Some entries were brief, others were detailed. May 2015. James is gambling again. Martin doesn't know. I saw him at the Indian casino in Tacoma. He didn't see me. He lost $8,000 in one night. I counted. Call me if you need me. September 2019. Martin is getting suspicious. He asked James about the discrepancies. James blamed the bookkeeper. They fired her. She didn't do anything wrong. I gave her a reference. I'm sorry I can't tell you directly. James would never forgive me, but I can't watch him destroy you. The last card was dated August 2023, 2 months before Carol's diagnosis. Chocolate soufflé. On the back, the business is failing. Martin wants to sell. James has been hiding this from you. When it sells, there will be an audit. Everything will come out. I'm putting together documents for you. They're with my lawyer, Patricia Chen, in Bellevue. She knows to contact you when I'm gone. I'm so sorry, Sarah. I should have told you years ago. But you loved him. You still love him. I pray you'll understand why I did it this way. I heard James's car in the driveway. I swept all the cards back into the box and shoved it in the pantry. My heart was hammering. When he walked in, I was standing at the sink, gripping the edge of the counter. "Hey, hun," he said, kissing my cheek. He smelled like cigarettes, which meant he'd been to the casino. He'd quit smoking 10 years ago, or so he'd told me. "What's for dinner?" I turned to look at him. Really look at him. James was 63. With silver hair he kept too long and a smile that had charmed me when I was 28. He was wearing a jacket I didn't recognize. Expensive. His watch caught the light. Not the Timex I'd given him for our 25th anniversary. "I'm not hungry," I said. "I think I'm coming down with something. Want me to pick up soup?" "No. I'm just going to lie down." I went to our bedroom and closed the door. Then I pulled out my phone and Googled Patricia Chen, lawyer, Bellevue. She had an office on Main Street. Specialization, financial fraud, and family law. I called the next morning while James was at work. The receptionist put me through immediately. "Mrs. Brennan," Patricia Chen said, and her voice was gentle. "I've been expecting your call. Carol left very detailed instructions. Can you come in today?" Her office was sleek and modern, all glass and chrome. Patricia was maybe 50, with kind eyes behind designer frames. She didn't waste time with pleasantries. "Carol came to see me 6 months before she died," she said, opening a file that looked 3 inches thick. "She wanted to make sure you'd be protected. She knew what James was doing. She'd known for years. Why didn't she just tell me?" She tried. "Early on. You didn't believe her, do you remember?" I closed my eyes. A memory surfaced. Maybe 10 years ago. Carol pulling me aside at a family barbecue. "Sarah, are you sure everything's okay with James? With money?" And me, laughing it off. "Carol, James handles all that. He's great with money. Don't worry about us." She was afraid, Patricia continued, that if she pushed too hard, James would cut her out of your life. She'd lose access to you. So she documented everything instead. Every withdrawal, every lie, every casino trip. She hired a private investigator in 2016. It's all here. She slid the file across the desk. Inside were bank statements, photographs, spreadsheets, notarized affidavits. James at various casinos across Washington state. James with a woman I didn't recognize, younger, at a hotel in Portland. Receipts for jewelry I'd never seen. Loan applications in both our names that I'd never signed. "He forged your signature," Patricia said. "Multiple times. That's fraud. And the business theft, that's embezzlement. Carol wanted you to have all this evidence before the business sale went through." "When is the sale?" "Next month. Martin already has a buyer. Once the books are audited, everything James did will come to light. Martin will likely press charges." I felt like I was underwater. Everything sounded far away. "Carol set up a separate account for you," Patricia was saying. "She's been putting money aside. It's not much. About $45,000. She wanted you to have a safety net." "Carol gave me money?" "From her own savings. Over the years, she said in her letter to me that she couldn't save your marriage, but she could save you." I drove home in a daze. The house looked different somehow, like a stage set. I walked through rooms James and I had shared for 3 decades, and I didn't recognize anything. Was this lamp always here? Did I choose these curtains? Or had I just been living in someone else's idea of a life? Rachel called that evening. "Mom, I need to talk to you about something. Okay, don't freak out, but I did some digging into Dad's finances. For work, we use this software that can track financial patterns, and I just wanted to make sure you and Dad were okay after Aunt Carol's death. And I know, I said. Silence. You know? Carol left me the recipe cards. Oh, thank God. Rachel's voice broke. Mom, I've known for 6 months. I saw something at work that flagged Dad's name. I didn't know how to tell you. I thought I was going crazy. I thought maybe I was wrong. You weren't wrong. What are you going to do? That was the question, wasn't it? James came home at 7. I was sitting in the living room with all the lights off. Sarah? You okay? I turned on the lamp. The recipe cards were spread across the coffee table. All 180 of them. He froze in the doorway. Sit down, James. Sarah, sit down. He sat. I watched the color drain from his face as he looked at the cards. Carol knew, I said. For 15 years, she documented everything. Every lie, every theft, every casino trip, every time you forged my signature. All of it. I can explain. No. My voice was steady, calm, cold. You can't. There's no explanation that makes this okay. You stole from your business partner. You stole from me. You've been living a double life while I trusted you completely. It started small, he said, and his voice was pleading. Just a little here and there, to cover some bad bets. I was going to pay it back. Then it got bigger, and I couldn't stop. And how much gambling debt do you have? He looked at his hands. About $230,000. I laughed. Actually laughed. Carol's cards only go up to $847,000 stolen. What did you do with the rest? There's a woman. In Portland. She needed help with her business. I invested. Invested our money in your girlfriend's business. She's not my girlfriend. James. I saw the pictures. He put his head in his hands. Sarah, please, I love you. This was all a mistake. A terrible mistake. I'll fix it. I'll fix everything. How? The business sale is next month. There's going to be an audit. Martin will find out. He'll press charges. You're going to jail, James. Not if we leave. We could sell the house, take the money, go somewhere. No, he looked up at me. I'm not running with you. I'm not covering for you. I'm done. Sarah, get out of my house. It's our house. Get out, or I'm calling the police right now and showing them everything Carol left me. Your choice. He left. I watched his taillights disappear down the street, and then I called Patricia Chen. He knows, I said. Good. Come to my office tomorrow. We're going to need to file several things very quickly. That night, I called Rachel and told her everything. She drove down from Seattle the next morning and sat with me while I met with Patricia. We filed for divorce. We filed a fraud report with the police. We contacted Martin at the hardware store and gave him copies of Carol's documentation. Martin cried when he saw the evidence. I knew something was wrong, he kept saying. But James was my friend. We started this business together 30 years ago. How could he do this? I don't know, I said honestly. But Carol tried to protect both of us. The business sale fell through once the fraud came to light. Martin had to declare bankruptcy. I felt terrible about that. But Patricia said it wasn't my fault. James did this. Not you. Not Carol. James. James was arrested 3 weeks later. Embezzlement, fraud, forgery. The DA offered him a plea deal. 7 years if he pled guilty and made restitution. He took it. What choice did he have? The divorce was finalized while he was awaiting sentencing. I got the house, what was left of our savings, and half his pension. It wasn't much. Most of our assets had been seized to pay back creditors. I sold the house. Too many memories. Too many lies soaked into the walls. I moved into a small apartment in Tacoma, near Rachel. For months, I was angry. Furious. At James, obviously, but also at Carol. Why didn't she just tell me? Why did she make me find out this way? Then one day, I was sorting through a box of Carol's things that Dan's son had given me. and I found a letter. It was addressed to me, in Carol's handwriting, dated a week before she died. Dear Sarah, it read. If you're reading this, you found the recipe cards. I'm sorry I couldn't tell you directly. I tried, remember? 10 years ago at the barbecue, but you didn't want to believe me. You loved James too much. And I understood. Love makes us blind. So I decided to give you something else instead. Evidence. Proof. So that when the time came and you had to see the truth, you'd have everything you needed to protect yourself. I couldn't save you from the pain, but I could prepare you for it. The money I left you isn't much, but it's yours. Use it to start over. Use it to be free. And please, please don't blame yourself. You trusted someone you loved. That's not a weakness. That's being human. I love you, sister. Take care of yourself. Carol. I cried for an hour after reading that letter. Not for James, not for the marriage I'd lost, but for Carol, for the burden she'd carried for 15 years, for the sister-in-law who loved me enough to document every betrayal, to protect me in the only way she knew how. 6 months after James went to prison, I started volunteering at a women's shelter. I met a woman there named Gloria who was trying to leave her husband. She had no money, no resources. She was terrified. I don't know what he's done with our money, she told me. He handles everything. I don't even know how much we have. I thought about Carol's recipe cards, about 15 years of careful documentation, about how knowledge is power, even when it hurts. Let me help you, I said. I taught Gloria how to check bank statements online, how to get copies of financial documents, how to spot the red flags, how to build an exit plan. When she finally left her husband, she had 3 months of documented evidence and enough money saved to start over. Word spread. More women came to me. I started running workshops at the shelter. Financial Safety 101. How to protect yourself. How to trust but verify. How to love someone without giving them the power to destroy you. Rachel helped me create a website. We called it The Recipe Project, in honor of Carol. Women could submit their stories, their warning signs, their evidence. We connected them with lawyers, financial advisors, support groups. On what would have been my 33rd wedding anniversary, I got a letter from James. He was up for parole review. He wanted me to write a letter of support. I didn't respond. But I did go visit him, just once. He looked old in his prison uniform, gray, defeated. Thank you for coming, he said. I'm not here to support your parole. I know. Why are you here? To tell you that Carol saved me. Not from you, from being destroyed by what you did. She gave me the tools to survive this, and because of her, I'm helping other women survive too. That's good, he said quietly. I'm glad. I'm glad you're okay. I'm not asking for your permission or your approval. I'm telling you that what you did didn't break me. It broke us, but not me. I stood to leave. Sarah, he said, I'm sorry. For all of it. I know, but sorry doesn't fix what you took. It doesn't give Martin back his business. It doesn't give me back 32 years of my life. Sorry is just a word. I walked out and I haven't seen him since. Last month, I got a call from a woman named Jennifer. She'd found the Recipe Project website. Her mother-in-law had been giving her household tips for years, little handwritten notes, clean the oven monthly, check the gutters, review your credit report. I thought she was just being helpful, Jennifer said, but I just checked our accounts like she suggested, and my husband's been hiding debt, a lot of debt. What do I do? I smiled. First, you document everything, then you call a lawyer, then you protect yourself, and then, if you want, you help the next woman who needs it. Like you're helping me? Like someone helped me. Carol died thinking she'd failed me. That she should have done more, said more, protected me better. But she saved me in the most important way. She didn't just give me evidence of my husband's betrayal. She gave me proof that someone loved me enough to spend 15 years protecting me, even knowing I might never understand, even knowing I might hate her for it. I keep one recipe card framed in my apartment. chocolate souffle. On the back, Carol's last message. When it sells, there will be an audit. Everything will come out. Below that, I added my own note, in my own handwriting. Everything came out. I survived. I'm helping others survive. Thank you, Carol. I finally understand. If you're reading this and something feels wrong in your marriage, in your finances, in your life, trust that feeling. Ask questions. Look at the documents. Don't let anyone tell you that love means blind trust, because it doesn't. Real love is what Carol showed me. Love that protects, love that prepares you, love that gives you the truth, even when the truth is painful. Check your bank accounts. Look at your credit report. Know where your money is. It's not being paranoid. It's being smart. It's being safe. And if you find out you've been betrayed, know this: you will survive. It won't feel like it at first. You'll be angry and hurt and lost. But you will survive, because you're stronger than you know. I survived. The women I help are surviving. You can too. Carol gave me recipe cards. I'm giving you permission to ask questions, to demand truth, to protect yourself. Take it, use it, and when you're ready, help the next woman who needs it. That's how we survive. That's how we heal. That's how we make sure the people who tried to destroy us don't win. We keep going. We help each other. We tell the truth. And we never, ever stop checking the recipe cards.